What are you saying, ladies and gents? It is your boy, Bucket Hat Sam, and yes, we are back again today for another video. Today's video, we are looking ahead at Bournemouth, who host Everton tomorrow as of the time of recording, in a massive clash as 7th place Bournemouth host 16th place Everton. And I thought I'd do a combined 11, give a bit of a preview, and at the end, I will give you my prediction. So let's get straight into it. We're going to do a combined 11. In goal, the two choices mainly are Kepa or Pickford or even Travers. So I'm going to start off straight away. I'm going to say Kepa's been a lot better than I thought he was. We're talking about the player that he was at Chelsea. So that's what we've all got in our mind, and we know it didn't really work out at Real Madrid either. But it's got to be Jordan Pickford. Jordan Pickford now, for me, has really got to move on. Now, I understand why he's been at Bournemouth for so long, but this guy is one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. Has been so consistent now at the top level for so long. And that's no disrespect to Everton, but I just love to see him in a side where they don't really face too many shots, because at Everton, he's constantly always on the move. His goal is always being peppered. So I'd like to see him at a bigger club just to see kind of how he does. A side that's a little bit more successful, but I'm going to go straight in with Jordan Pickford. I think he's been absolutely incredible now for so many years. It's so consistent. That's what he is, really, isn't he? He's Mr. Reliable. I absolutely love him. And what I love most about his game is, in previous years, he was a little bit hot-headed, and we always used to speak about there's so many moments where he kind of would lose himself, and you could see him getting really too, maybe even over-emotional, whereas now he's kind of a lot more calm, a lot more assured, because we used to think of the amount of times he used to scream at defenders. But yeah, I think he's improved massively on that part of his game. Next, in at right back, we've got Ashley Young or Adam Smith, the battle of the oldies. Now, credit to them both. They've both been absolutely incredible players and had great careers in the Premier League. But I'm just going to go for Ashley Young. Now, Ashley Young, for me, the reason why, I think Ashley Young has really surprised me this season. At the start of the season and at points at last season, he didn't really look like a player. He looked like he'd kind of passed it. But then as time has gone on this season, I think he's been really consistent and very reliable. Had a lot better season than I expected. No disrespect to Adam Smith. I think the two of them are very difficult to split. One of the hardest decisions out the entire list, if I'm honest. So then we'll move on to the centre-back choices. Now we've got Zabani, we've got Huijsen, we've got Keane, we've got Tarkowski, Branthwaite. There's loads of other players that we can talk about. But Branthwaite, for me, hasn't really lived up to the hype that he had last season. Branthwaite's one that I've been a little bit disappointed with. He had the links to moves elsewhere, and I know Everton have been a lot better since he's come back into the side, but I'm still not fully convinced that he's just there yet. Whereas Howson, I think, has been absolutely incredible. I really rate him this season. Since he's come in, there was a lot of expectations. He's had a lot of links elsewhere, so I'm going to pick him straight away as my first one. He's kind of the bit more of an outside shout, because I think I like players like Keane and Tarkowski now haven't been operating at the level I expected them up again, and other players that I've been quite disappointed by. When you think about these guys, they're usually quite consistent, but you've seen, like, especially in the last couple of seasons, a few mistakes in both of them. So yeah, Branthwaite is probably the closest, but then the easiest one for me was Zabani. Now, Zabani, for me, has been absolutely incredible. One of the most underrated players in the Premier League right now. And I think with the fact that Howson's gone on and scored a couple of goals, he's kind of stolen the headlines. Whereas you look at Zabani, he's just your classic centre-back. He's a head it, kick it, try really hard, but he's also got that little bit extra to his game. He's very good on the ball. I really like him. We're an absolute brute of a centre-back that is just so calm and collected. I really like the way he reads the game. So yeah, Zabani and Howson for me then as my two centre-backs, or Huijsen, depending on which commentator you listen to. The left-back situation, Kirkes or Mikalenko. Now, Mikalenko for me has had quite a solid season, to be fair. And to be fair, since he came in, I kind of wasn't too sure, but I think he's become a lot more reliable. But Kirkes, for me, has been an absolute gem this season for this Bournemouth side. There's a lot of links elsewhere. He is so good. We've seen him a few times playing for the national team in Hungary, and we've seen him a few times and kind of got a bit excited about him. I remember in the performance England versus Hungary, when Hungary dominated England, he was absolutely incredible. What I love about him is he's so good going forward, but also defensively. He puts his body on the line for that Bournemouth team consistently and constantly. I am absolutely in love with this guy, and I know he's getting a lot of links to moves elsewhere, to likes of Man United and things, but I'd like to see him at Bournemouth just for a little bit longer, just to see how far we can go with this Bournemouth side, because they are only currently 2 points off Europa League football, which is absolutely mental considering we're talking about Bournemouth. Iraola has got this team playing so well. So yeah, Kirkes for me at left back. Now we're going for a 4-2-3-1 formation when talking about this formation. Okay, so the two midfielders, we have got some choices. We've got Christie, Cook, Gay, Mangala, Decore. Mangala, for me, recently has really stepped up, a player that I didn't really know too much about. I know he's a loan signing, but he's really impressed me so far. I know they've not got an option to buy him at the end of the season, but I think they'd be silly not to. He's been absolutely incredible. I think about that game specifically with that draw against Manchester City, really stood out for me in that game. I really like him, but he doesn't make my team. Decore as well, another player that you know what you're going to get from. But I think, for me, this is another easy one. We're going for Lewis Cook and Ryan Christie. The two of them have been absolutely incredible as a pairing. And what I love, Lewis Cook has stepped up so much this season. This is the Lewis Cook that when he was younger and when we kind of saw him when he broke into that England side at Bournemouth before they got relegated, we all had really high expectations. Then he kind of dropped off a little bit. But this season, we're kind of seeing that player that we spoke about so much and spoke so highly of. This guy is so good, and he's everything that's good about Bournemouth. For me this season, again, one of the most underrated players in the league. He's been absolutely colossal, and it just works really nicely with Ryan Christie as well. He gives you that extra bit of flair. Lewis Cook is just so consistent, and then Ryan Christie has that extra little spice to it. But yeah, I really like them two as a pairing, so for me, that was a really easy one. Idrissa Gana Gueye, yes, I know what you're going to get from him. He's very consistent, but I don't think he's on the level of Ryan Christie and Cook. And I think those two are one of the main reasons why Bournemouth have been as good as they are. They're the two that really help with that press going forward. They break up the play, move the ball on so well. And this is why that Bournemouth team is so good going forward. I think those two are so incredible for this Bournemouth team. A really unlikely pairing as well. If you'd have said that probably to me at the start of Iraola's campaign, would you say that too as a pairing would have been incredible? I probably would have laughed at you, but they have been absolutely immense for Bournemouth, especially this season. They've been incredible. So now we're going to move on to that number 10 position now. The two choices you've got is Kluivert. Yes, Kluivert, who'd have thought it again, another player that stepped up massively and really improved under Iraola. I really like him. He's consistent. He's a great penalty taker, isn't he? Or you've got Dwight McNeil. Now, Dwight McNeil was formerly a bit of a winger, and you've seen him kind of transition into more of a number 10 role. And Sean Dyche has spoken quite often about the fact that his output wasn't enough, and spoken about the fact that he wasn't really doing it at that level and he wanted to see more of it. But since he's come in to the number 10 position, he's been so much more productive. 3 goals and 3 assists this season. I really like him. He's kind of a very exciting player. I do really enjoy watching him play. He's very direct, and he's always thinking about going forward, which is what I really like. He takes a lot of risks. So yeah, it's going to be Dwight McNeil for me in that number 10 position. Now on to the right-hand side. The two choices are Semenyo and Jack Harrison. Now for me, this is a really easy decision. It's got to be Semenyo. He has been absolutely incredible. 5 goals and 2 assists. There's been a lot of links for him to be moved elsewhere because this guy is an absolute joke. We spoke about the player that we saw at Bristol City. He absolutely dominated my team, West Bromwich Albion, when they played in the Championship. He was kind of an exciting player, but I didn't ever expect him to get to the heights that he is already showing. And we speak about it all the time, and he gets links elsewhere. And there's a reason for it. The guy is an absolute monster. He's incredible. He is so good dribbling-wise, direct, exciting to watch, and his output is incredible. This guy, I know we said it at the start of the season, he had a great end to the last season, but he's kind of stepped up to another level this year. So yeah, had to be him. It wasn't really a discussion. No, Jack Harrison, you know what you're going to get from him, but I don't think he's anywhere near the level that we're talking about when we're talking about Semenyo. Semenyo is an absolute joke. One of the better players so far in the Premier League this season. Now we'll move on to that left-hand side. You've got Tavernier, who I've really enjoyed watching this season. Another player that I didn't ever expect when they signed him from Middlesbrough to really hit on as much as he has done. And again, he's another player that's benefited from the Iraola system. He's been absolutely incredible for them. But I'm going to go for NGI. Now, NGI is a player that I spoke about when he was in the Championship at Sheffield United. He absolutely tore West Bromwich Albion apart, and it was Carlos Corberán's first ever game. I've never seen a player like it literally dominate a team completely on his own. He had his socks down low, and he was running rings around players, kind of operating a bit more of a free role. Then he went to Marseille. It didn't really work out. Came to Everton. He was one that I said at the start of the season he'd be one I wanted to watch because I really like him. He's got 3 goals, which isn't an incredible output. We're talking about an Everton side that don't really score very many goals. But yeah, he's been one of the most exciting players in this Everton team. And I think in a lot of moments where Everton fans have been getting a little bit frustrated, he's kind of that shining light, somebody that gets the bums off the seat. So yeah, it had to be NGI for me. I really like him. And again, I think he's kind of a player that could probably play at a slightly better team than this Everton side. Maybe a more forward-thinking attacking side. Maybe a side like Bournemouth or even a Fulham or something like that. I'd like to see him in a kind of a differing system. Then onto the final position, we have got Evan Nilsson or Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or even better if you want to throw him in there, or even Brozier. For me, this is an easy one. Evan Nilsson has been absolutely incredible since his record transfer move to Bournemouth. Obviously, they had that massive sale of Solanke, and Evan Nilsson's come in and kind of gone under the radar a bit for me. He's got 5 goals this season, which isn't too bad a return. He's kind of probably going to get on to just over 10 goals, which isn't too bad for his debut season. But what I love about him is he kind of brings in so many other players. Your likes of Semenyo, your Taverniers, your Billings, your Cooks, all of those players, and Kluivert, All of those players get so many opportunities because of this man. His press is absolutely relentless. This guy is the definition of Captain Chaos. But when I say Captain Chaos, he's actually got some product. I don't mean the fact that he's chaotic all over the place. I mean the fact that for an entire 90 minutes, this guy presses like no one else. This guy's a joke, and I think he's part of the main reason why Bournemouth are doing so well. You speak about the fact that how many times they win the ball in that final third. It's all because of him. It's his pressing constantly. You think about that game against the Wolves when they won 3 penalties. It was literally, he was every time onto Sarr so many times, and that's what I love about this guy. He's an absolute joke. Been incredible for them this season. And I think another kind of signing that's gone under the radar a little bit. So yeah, that is my team. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Please do smash the like button. Please do subscribe. I think Bournemouth are going to win this one 3-1. Yes, you heard me. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. Please let me know your thoughts on my combined 11 down in the comment section below, and also comment down below your predictions for the game. Thank you guys for watching. Bucket Sam over and out. Thank